What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is James from Cop Logic, and it is that time of the week again. It is your match preview for Liverpool versus Brentford in the Premier League. It is match day 2 of 38, 4:30 kickoff on Sunday. First home game at Anfield. I'm expecting big things from this one. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Hopefully the weather's good. Everyone can have a good time and Liverpool can get that big win. So speaking of Liverpool's big win, let's take a look at some head-to-heads for Liverpool and Brentford. Liverpool have won their last 5 home games against Brentford, keeping a clean sheet each time. Obviously, that's a great sign as we head into this home game. Statistically, not only should we be expecting a win, but we should also be expecting a clean sheet based on that. Out of the last 6 meetings with Brentford, Brentford have won only 1. Again, another promising stat. So in terms of head-to-heads, Liverpool come out clear on top. Considering this is a home game, Liverpool have only lost 2 of the last 61 Premier League games at Anfield, which is a phenomenal stat that Liverpool seem to keep time and time again. You know, there's an occasional stumble where Liverpool might lose a game at Anfield. It happened to Jurgen Klopp a couple of times, but then we always go on these runs once again and build that back up again. Anfield is absolutely a metaphorical fortress, and hopefully we see that again in this game on Sunday. However, in fairness to Brentford, they had a fairly favourable end to last season, for Brentford at least, having won 4 of their last 7 matches, which for Brentford at the time was pretty good, and they have continued that form into this season with a 2-1 win at home to Crystal Palace during the opening weekend. So Brentford certainly will be feeling confident as any team can feel heading to Anfield. Honestly, that's really kind of it in terms of interesting stats and things around the game, outside of maybe the fact that Fabio Carvalho will be returning to Anfield. It's obviously going to be way too early for Sepp van den Berg. There's not much more to say on the game, so I guess we can dive into our team selection. As always, we'll start with the goalkeeper. This one's simple enough. It's obviously going to be Alisson Becker. That Mamardashvili deal is somehow still going on as of me recording this, but regardless, he'd be staying at Valencia anyway. We know Alisson Becker is the #1 for Liverpool this season. A centre-back partnership of Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. I think this is the only option available to us, to be quite honest. Now, I've heard rumours as of me recording this video that Jarell Quansah has picked up an injury, so won't be available for this game. Even if that's not true, and we'll find out very soon when we know what the team's going to be for sure, but even if that's not true, there's no way Quansah starts this game after being taken off at half-time against Ipswich, in my opinion. So this is all it can be. And I also want to stress, if Jarell Quansah has picked up an injury, then Joe Gomez will be our only real centre-back option on the bench. Another player whose future has been uncertain. I think this pretty much means Joe Gomez has to stay. And on top of that, I think it highlights the desperate need Liverpool have for a senior centre-back signing this window. So FSG, it's time to move. Right back is going to be Trent. Again, I think that's a fairly obvious one everyone would be expecting. Had a brilliant game against Ipswich himself. Some of those through balls and balls over the top, switching to play, were absolutely phenomenal, but it's what we've come to expect from Trent Alexander-Arnold. The big thing for him will be sorting out that contract extension. We are absolutely desperate for it. The fact it's gone on so long, I'm just assuming it's because they're confident, because if it's because they're willing to let him go, then we are entering into a very uncertain era for Liverpool Football Club. But that's not what this video is about, so I don't want to get too hung up on that kind of stuff. But Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back for me. Now, this one's another interesting one because there's been rumours over the last 24 hours that he also could be looking for a loan move out of the club. That's insane. I'm not even going to address those rumours because it's got to be paper talk. We've only got 2 left backs at the club, and the reason I'm starting Kostas Tsimikas over Andrew Robertson is because I don't actually think Robbo had his best game against Ipswich, and that was only Ipswich, so he got caught out a couple of times. I'm not willing to risk that in this game. I think Kostas Tsimikas had a great pre-season. He deserves a start. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't start against Ipswich. Yeah, I'm going Kostas Tsimikas. I think he deserves it, and right now I actually think he's in better form than Andrew Robertson. In the double pivot, I'm going with what we started with against Ipswich, and that is Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch. Now, McAllister, he's going to be a mainstay in this team, but in terms of Ryan Gravenberch, it's between him and Endo. That's really the only options we've got, and I think, in fairness to Gravenberch, he had a brilliant game against Ipswich. almost faultless for me. Some of the passes he was making were incredible as well. Very advanced, very attacking-minded DM, which is what we like to see in this Arne Slot system. So fair play to him. You know what I mean? After failing the Zubimendi thing, we didn't really know where we stood. I've got to take my hat off to Ryan Gravenberch and say that he did step up, but it was only Ipswich. So again, this is going to be another good test for him, especially, you know, with the pressure of that Anfield crowd. That'll either take him to the next level or it will start to show the cracks potentially in his armour. We'll find out in this game. And in the advanced midfield position, I'm going Dominic Szoboszlai. Again, that is the same midfield that we went with for Ipswich. I didn't have too many issues with it, to be honest with you, so I think it's perfectly okay for that midfield to start. Again, the likes of Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, they will get rotation as the season goes on, and we've got plenty of cup games and things like that where they're going to see a lot of time, so I'm not too worried about that. I think this is, as of right now at least, our best midfield. On the right wing, I'm going Mo Salah. Again, another position where we don't really have any other options, but we wouldn't want another option at this moment in time because Mohamed Salah is Mohamed Salah, one of the greatest players to ever grace Liverpool Football Club and indeed the Premier League. Mo Salah has to start. Looks like he's in great form. Hopefully we see a couple of goals from Mo in front of the Anfield crowd for our opening home game of the Premier League season. And on the left wing, maybe a controversial choice for me here, but I'm going Cody Gakpo to start because I feel like Luis Diaz didn't have, he had a very frustrating game for me. His final ball, he really struggles with it. What I will say is the game against Sevilla in pre-season, he was brilliant. I was hoping he would bring that form into the game against Ipswich, but for me, he didn't. He does a lot of things right, Luis Diaz. He's got the pace, he can beat his man, but his final ball is awful and it's so wasteful. And I think things like that should be highlighted. Cody Gakpo had such a good Euros that it would be wrong to keep him out of this team and to play a player ahead of him who I think has been wasteful with chances, and I think a bit of time for Luis Diaz to reflect on that won't do him any harm, and hopefully Cody Gakpo can step up and bring that form from the Euros into this Liverpool squad for us. And that only leaves the striker position, with which I've gone with Diogo Jota. Again, great game against Ipswich, got himself a goal, so in good form. And as much as I want to see Darwin Núñez start in this new Arne Slot team, he got no minutes against Ipswich, so it just wouldn't make sense to be starting him here. I think it was a huge mistake not to give him any minutes against Ipswich. Didn't quite understand that decision. He has to get some minutes in this game. I want to see him get like at least a good 30 minutes, I'm going to be honest, because I want to start seeing Darwin Núñez be embedded into this team. But at the same time, maybe it's the right thing to take the spotlight off him a little bit, the way things ended towards last season for him. If we can build up his confidence and get him firing again with a few off the bench appearances, and then we can slowly sort of bring him into that starting 11. Maybe that's the angle and approach that Arne Slot is going for. But either way, it doesn't make much sense to start him when he's had no minutes so far, and Diogo Jota is in great form. So Diogo Jota gets a start for me, and that is our starting lineup, or my starting lineup for Liverpool against Brentford at Anfield. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you agree with on that, or what you would maybe change. And let's move on to the score prediction. So we've got the Opta stats as always down below. Liverpool there on 78% win, draw at 13%, and Brentford at a measly 9%. So you're looking at those stats and you're expecting absolute Liverpool domination. We know it doesn't always work out like that, but again, if you look at the historical stats I mentioned at the top of the video, Liverpool with a win in their last 5 home games against Brentford, and we kept the clean sheet in all of them. So I'm hoping that history repeats itself. I am going to go with a clean sheet. It's a question of how many goals for Liverpool, and I am going to go Liverpool 3, Brentford 0. We've got a firing Mo Salah, a firing Diogo Jota, and Cody Gakpo with something to prove after being left out of the starting lineup against Ipswich. So I think this could be an exciting game. Again, it's also the first home game at Anfield, so you know the crowd's going to be up for it. It's going to be a massive atmosphere. Very excited for this one. The Opta stats speak for themselves. Liverpool domination is what I'm hoping to see, and I'm going Liverpool 3, Brentford 0. Get your score predictions down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and again, give me any of your comments on that team selection I've gone with. And as always, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already to stay up to date with everything Liverpool throughout the rest of this season. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.